Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back with the 16th episode of the DNAnime Podcast. I am a beautiful crow, and I'm here with Vic Seal, and we're here to talk about some of the best anime topics of all time. I hope you guys are ready for it. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are getting hyped. Whether you're on your commute, whether you're at work, whether you're washing your dishes or boiling your fishes, you guys are hanging out with the boys and enjoying it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for being here for another week of 16 episodes. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought we would have gotten this far?
Did you, Vic? Yeah. Episodes. I would have never believed that we wouldn't have had some falling out. None of us got canceled. And we all left. Everybody abandoned us. Nothing like that yet. Thank God.
Exactly. If anything, exactly. If anything, the ball's been rolling downhill like a snowball, just growing and it's showing, and it's a good time. But yeah, if you guys want to keep up with the boys, make sure you're hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell on YouTube, hitting that follow button on any of your local podcast services of all time, sharing it. Word of mouth is muy importante. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, let your friends know. Let your friend, you don't want your friend to be happy, listen to good podcasts? Do it. Anyway, other than that, we are here to get up in here and talk about anime today. But how are you doing today, Vix?
I'm doing fantastic. We just got done a little bit earlier in stream beating some Bill on my side, and we're going to beat Bill again later on Crow's side. So that's always good to beat the hard Elden Ring DLC bosses. We are going to continue and talk about some of the special characters in anime, the ones that perhaps didn't always get the best, the longest straw in the stack. Some of them that you just can't really stick around for, and some of them that you have to stick around for. So, without further ado, we're going to continue to the first topic, which is going to be name a character who deserved better than what they got.
Yeah, you pump faked me. I thought we were doing the other topic first.
I just copy pasted mine into yours. So, which one did you want to do first?
No, we can do that. We can do that because I got a good one. This is a sad one. Do you want me to go first? I can go first.
Sure, you got it. You sound like you hyped about this one.
I'm not actually. I'm depressed about this one. For anybody who, if you guys are watching the video podcast, you might see me weep a big manly tear. The character that I'm talking about that I honestly think deserves better is Casca from Berserk. If you know, you know. Berserk is one of my favorite mangas and anime of all time. I fucking love Berserk. And Casca was one of my favorite characters. She is such an amazing, strong, like, female lead in an amazing, like, manga. And she gets sidelined, essentially, after a very traumatic event happens in anime, which is fucking... Again, I fucking despise Griffith.
Anime does that to their female leads, where they're just like, oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
She's amazing. She's like, she's one of my favorite characters in anime. And this traumatic event happens from the person that she cares about the most. And then she's kind of just, she gets pretty much reverted back to a baby, essentially, because her mind literally can't handle the trauma. So for the majority of the part, after the big thing happens with the eclipse, Guts is just protecting her as he literally can't sleep because they're haunted by demons every night. So he's just fighting every single night to protect her because they're branded. And it's like this whole fucked up thing. And she's very much like kind of just like this thing to protect by Guts because that's it. She stops being a character for a decade plus. You know how long I was waiting for Casca to get healed? Like that's Guts' whole driving motivation for the majority of the manga is trying to help Casca and then getting, trying to figure out what magic and what he could do to help her while she's being protected. And it took so long. I mean, granted, Miura, he took a lot of long breaks to play MMOs and fucking rhythm games, just be old. Again, rest in peace. He's the GOAT. He's the legend. I wish he made more Berserk, but, obviously he's not here anymore. But yeah, the last couple of chapters of Berserk, I won't spoil anything too crazy or go into it too much, but Casca finally does come back. So there's a light in the tunnel. It took a long time, but Casca does come back. But the trauma is still there, and they're still dealing with it. So it was like this bittersweet moment. And then that was literally the last chapter Miura drew and wrote before he passed, was Casca coming back and seeing Guts for the first time, with her full faculties in, what was real world like 15 years.
Damn.
It was probably even longer than that. I've been reading Berserk for a long fucking time, dude. They were on a fucking boat. On a boat for 7 years, real time. It was one chapter. Exactly. It was one chapter. Exactly. It was literally like Hunter x Hunter. It was one chapter a year, two if we were lucky. It was a rough read, but I love Berserk and I read it. There's a lot of fucked up shit in Berserk. There's a lot of very harsh, and very, very, very disturbing things in Berserk. But that's a part of the world that I really enjoy. Not the actual, like, the terrible shit, but the fact that the world is so bleak, but there's such beautiful moments of like humanity and really, really cool, awesome, like rule of cool ass moments where Guts gets his get back or the characters, you know, win the day. Like there's a lot of fucked up shit in Berserk, but goddamn, it's one of the best pieces of fiction I've ever read. And I believe Katsuka deserved more because she's like her relationship with Guts was so beautiful how it bloomed. Because it wasn't just like, oh, she was there and he was the main character, so they fell in love. Like, she did not like him. She was in love with Griffith. And then their relationship just organically grew over time and they fell in love. And it was fucking beautiful, man. And then we never really got them to be together because the fucking bullshit. Griffith, and I get it, anime fans are tone deaf and stupid, but I fucking hate the whole Griffith did nothing wrong joke. I hate that shit because I love Casca. She's such an amazing fucking character. And again, you know, Griffith's the bad guy, so he did some terrible, horrendous shit. And then people just like, I mean, make joke. It's so funny. I'm just like, all right, man, can y'all not joke about this shit? Anyway, that's just my personal opinion on it. But I think that Casca deserves the world. I'm glad that she's back. But yeah, it's a little sore spot for me, especially because, you know, she's like one of the few like black female main characters in the anime, and she was fucking awesome as a swordswoman. So yeah, that's my character, Casca from Berserk. She deserved better. Guts as well. Guts deserves the world, man. That man be suffering. I don't think there's a character that suffers more than boy Guts. But yeah, that's my character. Maybe a little. I should just went with Sakura, but or Tintin. Tintin deserves the world instead of being relegated to a shitty shop that nobody uses.
Get done dirty, but I don't. Like she still kind of just like fades into the background, so Tenten didn't make it on my list. Could have put her on there. Sakura definitely could have been on the list. I think one of the most like done dirty characters was actually, it was part of the show that he was done dirty that made him like made the show good. It's Hyakimaru from Dororo. He was literally screwed by birth.
Yeah.
From the moment he was born, he had his organs, his eyes, his skins, his limbs, everything taken by demons. He couldn't talk, he couldn't see, he couldn't feel. He didn't have anything going for him. He was literally barely saved by a dude who makes prosthetics. And then he was pieced together like some rag doll. He can't see, he can only sense the demons who stole his body parts. And he ends up just like only doing that. Like all he ever does is fight the demons for his parts back. And then every time that he beat a demon and he got a piece back, it was like horrendously painful for him to get that back. So every time he got one, he would scream in pain all the way up until he met, I don't remember her name, but it was the girl and the like little orphanage group.
Oh my god, not the girl in the little orphans.
It's so mean. He finally got like a taste of what could be good, and then they just fucking murder her right in front of him. And I was like, this is so messed up. Dude does not literally ever catch a break at any point. He is always under siege. Like him waiting that long to have a mental break is actually astonishing in its own right. Well, first of all, him surviving at the beginning is a wild to start with, but dude, I'm glad that they remade it, because I looked at the original, I would not have watched that. But the remake, the 2019 version or something, it looks so good. It's so well animated. It's so good. I thought for the longest time that Dororo was Hyakimaru, and then I was like, they have to keep reminding me that that's not who Dororo is. Dororo's the kid,
the little kid guy,
the female. Actually, the kid is female. Did you know?
Wait,
that?
what?
Yeah,
no.
Dororo's a girl.
What?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure she mentions that somewhere in there.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't
like,
finish
wait a minute,
it.
what? Because I was not that was not what I was thinking. They did not portray that like at all, and you mentioned it, and I was like, wait a minute, are you fucking with me?
Because like I watched the first. I watched all the way up to where we were just talking about with a homie in Discord, and then he was like doing like a little watch along while I was like at work, and then I was like, oh, I gotta leave from work, so we ended up like stopping it. And I haven't gone back to actually watch the rest of it, but I need to. That into your eternity.
After that, like his like half brother, I guess, was born like after he was, because his dad had to offer him to the demons as a sacrifice to maintain the like wealth of the land. And then they had their second born, and he raised the second born, who then sought to hunt down Hyakimaru. So he was like fucked at birth, and then he went all the way through, and then he got fucked in his adult years, and then he kept going, and then his brother's trying to kill him. It sucks. Like that guy, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He was born, and that was when everything started going wrong. So he is definitely one character that deserved better than he got. Like, he's just a baby when he started getting railed, and it was like, give this man some help. Somebody help him. Help me, please.
Yeah, but, no, it's rough. Like I really enjoyed what I saw of the anime. I really want to go back to watch the rest of it, because I know it's a classic. Like what the original anime is from like the 60s. Because I saw like bits and pieces of it. It looks like Astro Boy or some shit.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I wouldn't have watched it originally. But it's like, if they kept the story the same, because I haven't watched the original, if they kept the story the same or even similar, then it was so good. It was like, I kept just wanting, every week was like, I want to watch another episode. I want more. I want this. That was my I have to come back to more anime episode.
Yeah. Because like I think that came out, and To Your Eternity came out at the same time. And I'm still like not watching both of them.
To Your Eternity came out several years later, I'm pretty sure.
Really? There was something that came out at the same time as To Your Eternity. And I was like, oh, they're really good apparently, because everybody kept talking about them. But I just remember hearing about both of them at the same time, I guess. But I watched the
first episode of To Your Eternity, and it was like so like depressing that we were like, I don't really want to watch the next episode. If it's gonna
want to be sad? This little amorphous light blob man doing stuff or whatever.
But yeah.
I gotta do it. I'm so behind on so much shit, dude.
Another character that deserves better. I have at least one more that I want to bring up, because it's from a series that if you have seen it, you love it. If you haven't seen it, you've never heard of it.
I didn't have one. I mean, because the default answer for me will probably be Tanjiro. I think Tanjiro is like we talk about it all the time.
Like, for sure.
He's like the kindest boy.
A sweet boy that did work for his family up on the mountain, and then he was just like caretaking for his siblings, and then it's just like, oh, they're all dead. Like,
because it's just like whenever you whenever you see Tanjiro like interact with anybody, or he has like one of those season flashbacks where he's thinking about his family, he just seems like the best big brother, the best son, helping out his family by selling charcoal. When in the most recent season, like he's cooking up the food for the rest of the Demon Slayer Corps that's training with them.
Yeah.
And they just like start calling him mama. And he's just like, oh, it's just like, I just make this like, I'm just like, he's just too like pure for this world. And it's just like, he deserves everything. Not having to fight Michael Jackson. He deserves to just live in peace, man. So I don't know how Demon Slayer ends, but I just want Tanjiro to be happy. As long as Tanjiro has a big dumb smile on his face, I'm a happy boy at the end of Demon Slayer. But I know he's gonna go through hell.
Gotta get there somehow.
True, real.
Yeah, the one.
But yeah, Tanjiro's mine.
One that I wanted to bring up is from Charlotte. If you've ever seen Charlotte,
I haven't. I've heard about Charlotte.
It almost flew under my radar. The guy's name is Yu Otasaka. He kind of just got the short end of the stick. Everybody that's like under 16, I think, has the potential to awaken an ability, and this ability is considered like a disease. So there were people that were like hunting children because they wanted these powers, or they wanted to make use of these powers, or they wanted to get rid of people who had these powers. And the guy, the main character, his ability at the beginning was that he could switch bodies. He called it Plunder was his ability. And as it came to be known, every time that he switched bodies with somebody, and when he switched back, he would take that person's ability and then add it to his own. So he was stealing the abilities from everybody. And then this is like a reasonably old anime, so I'll say spoilers because I'm not gonna really hold back on anything, but it's been out long enough. His sister ends up getting like killed in an earthquake due to, or like a building fell on her and she died, and it was due to like one of these guys hunting her because her ability was to create the earthquake, which then caused the building to crash. And he ended up having to do he did like this vow where he was like, I don't want anybody else to go through this, so I will make it so nobody can. And he ended up going through every single person on the planet that got an ability. Very early on, he got an ability that let him trace the other abilities, and then he would just take their abilities, and he added so many powers to his like arsenal that it started breaking his mind. So he started to forget and started to act differently all the way up until he got the last person's ability. And then his mind finally broke and he ended up back in his hometown. And there was a girl there who like, she basically said, if you save everybody, then when you come back, I'll be your girlfriend. And he goes through all of the trauma and everything in like vengeance for his sister, and so that he can get back to her. And when his mind finally like breaks, well, he has like this little memento that has like her name in it. So there comes a point where they show that he forgets who that is. And then when his mind finally breaks and he ends up back in the town, when he wakes up, she says, welcome back, whatever, so on and so forth. And then he responds with, do I know you? And that in itself was already heartbreaking. But then she also replied in probably one of the most wholesome ways possible, where it was, she basically just reintroduced herself as his lover. So it was like, she didn't go back on the promise, which was the cool part. Is like, he forgot. She had an out. She could have just been like, nah, that didn't happen, because he didn't remember. But she really buckled or like doubled down on it and was like, hey, I am here for you now. And I thought that was great. They were just like, 16-year-olds, so they were adolescents, but nobody did anything fucking weird. It was all reasonable. Nothing felt uncomfortable or whatever. So I know I said that she introduced herself as a lover, but it wasn't weird. It was very wholesome. It was very nice. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's very good. It was one of those ones that flew under the radar. It's a hidden gem. He definitely didn't do anything to deserve having that burden put on him to like take everything like on himself. So he was just a kid. He was just a regular guy. It was just a short end of the stick, or the short straw, to say the least. Unfortunate to him, but he was the one that I really wanted to bring up as like my second character, just because like I know a lot of people know of him, but they forget him a lot because like the show got missed and nobody really talks about it that much.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in the previous episode of the podcast, and that's why I was like, I swear somebody talked to me about this recently, but I was like, I'm an introvert. I'm a hikikomori. I don't go outside. Who the fuck talked to me? Who talked to me? But it was you.
It was me. 'Twas I.
On the glorious weekly podcast. I do go outside, I will say that. But yes, that sounds awesome. Again, I love me a good self-sacrificing character. Again, I know me and you played the Tales series. I fucking love Colette. I love the fact that she was like sacrificing herself for the world. Where she was literally losing. Yeah, she was losing her own like fucking sense of self and
she
all
kind
of
that
shit.
Where she like kept it from everybody again, though.
And
I'm like, man, quit it. I'm done with that.
Dude, but I always
tell everybody what's happening.
I know, but I love that moment where Lloyd's like, here's some coffee. She's like, oh, it's so hot. And he's like, it's iced coffee. And she's like, oh, yeah, sorry, it's cold. He's like, nah, you dumb bitch, it's hot coffee. And she just like gets mind broken. And he's just like, gotcha. Why did you lie about this?
I knew it. You can't feel anything.
I love that moment. Tales series is goated, but this ain't a Tales podcast. It's an anime podcast.
But
if you guys have, it could be. I mean, it could be shit. But if you guys who are
every Tales game gets like some version of an anime.
That is true. Symphonia, Vesperia. I think Abyss has an anime as well. The Vesperia one's really good. It's fun. It's very abridged, but it's fun.
What's the one with Soray as the main character? There's Symphonia that has an anime.
Lloyd.
There is. It's not.
I think
Berseria.
Vesperia.
It's the one that came before Berseria.
Exilia.
No, I don't know if Exilia has an anime.
I don't think it does. I'm just trying to think of the names.
What the hell was it? Now that's gonna bug me now.
But if you guys have an anime character that you think was done dirty, a character that you guys thought was done dirty, you can let us know in the comments down below or through your review through the audio podcast service of your choice. But yeah, there's a lot of characters in anime. Ooh, that's a good one. Vash the Stampede. Oh, my brother man Vash, but that's a good one.
By himself, Vash the Stampede.
Yep. So now we're going to switch on over to the Q&A portion of the podcast. We already got like a few questions or a few additions or characters from some of the homies in the live chat, as you guys can see here in the middle of the screen. If you guys are watching on the YouTube video, this part's for the YouTube only anyway. But yeah, you guys should be able to see it on screen. And heading on over to the next topic of the podcast, our second of the night. We're going to be talking about, and we're going to get a little controversial. I wonder what character you picked, but we're going to be talking about anime characters that we cannot stand, that just grind our gears, that work our motherfucking nerves.
Out of here. I don't want to see any more of them. The show would be better off without them.
I'm rooting for the big man to kill this motherfucker.
I actually don't have very many characters that I just couldn't stand, but there's one that I added to mine that I'm like, this is probably on his list too, but I have to add it. Mineta from My Hero.
Oh, I didn't even think about Diaper Baby.
Yeah, I was like, he adds literally nothing to the story at any point. There's like one moment where he's like groveling, begging for all for one to like take his power instead of somebody else's. And that's like the most valuable he is. Otherwise, he literally just gets fucking slammed all the time. And he's just he doesn't ever redeem himself.
Yeah, he confessed his feelings to Deku that one time, though. That just happens for whatever reason.
Fucking creep, dude. I hate him. They just like there's a lot of characters that have like the creepiness in them that are like really perverted, and for some of them, like you kind of just like let it slide because it's not their entire personality. Like, you know, Sanji's kind of like that, but Sanji's kind of a cool dude outside of that one thing. Then there's Meliodas, but then when you find out why Meliodas is like that with the one person, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. But Mineta doesn't have that redeeming feature. He is just a creep. That is his only feature. That is all he provides to the show. He does not need to be there.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I love My Hero. I love a lot of the characters from Class A. Mineta just feels like he was the gag character. And the joke's just bad. Like I think the joke of him just being
comedic relief, but then they had like Kaminari in there who was also comedic relief, and his was way better because he went like dumb stupid when he overcharged himself.
Yeah, and he turns to Saitama. He's just like, yeah. He just gets like the default ass face. But yeah, like it sucked. I didn't hate Mineta as much as other people. He just was like a non-character to me. Like I really and truly didn't care about Mineta. And I know they did the whole gimmick in the manga, like during the cover story, like pages or whatever. Like you see Ashido like has him strapped to a chair with his eyeballs like duct taped open.
Yeah, they're like trying to give him conversion therapy or some shit.
Yeah, so after that he kind of stops, but he just becomes like a non-character after that. That was like, why is Diaper Baby in the show?
He goes from being a creep to being not present. And I'm like, just get him out of here. I'm glad that they took him out for the most part. Like, he's still in the scenes, but they never had him like redeem himself in any way. Like, even his power is dumb. He pulls balls out of his head that are sticky. Come on.
Good old-fashioned balls out of his head.
Sticky.
Yeah, it's good. They're ultra sticky, and they stick together.
He bleeds from his head.
So. Yeah, but then it don't stick to him. I don't know. His power sucks ass.
I could see it being useful in some scenarios. Like he does set up a trap with like Zero's tape. But like on its own, and that power, it'll never be used to a viable like degree. Like he'll never evolve it to be useful.
Yeah, I don't know how you gonna become a pro hero with that.
Yeah, because he's just not smart enough. He's just an idiot. He's like he'll never be able to formulate those kind of like ideas mid combat to make his power useful. He only manages to make it work like twice, I think, and it was because of somebody else making the ideas.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, that's why I was like when he was with like Deku and Suyu, and he was just like, "Oh, I love being with you guys. You guys make the plans, and I just throw my balls." And I'm just like, I don't really. I mean, I'm again, like we said, he takes a back seat, so he becomes a non-character, which sucks because it's like, why the fuck are you here? But hey, not every mangaka is gonna hit 10 out of 10. Always batting 1,000 or whatever. It just happens, and Mineta's is one of those characters who sucks ass and shit. And no, I totally agree with you. I didn't even think about Mineta, but he's a perfect person for this because he wasn't just like a bad character. He actively annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah,
that I didn't enjoy for like the longest time. I was going through the
list and I was like, it can't just be annoying. It has to be somebody that I'm like, man, I do not want to see this guy in here. Because like I think Zenitsu's kind of annoying, but like I don't mind him being in the show. He's like his screaming is whatever. Asta is kind of annoying at the beginning and then he gets better. But I was like, who do I just not want to see ever again in my show? And I was like, Mineta, if they were to just out of existence, I would not say a word. I don't think anybody would say a word. I thought he was going to be on everybody. Like the first person that came to mind, he's the poster child for this statement.
Yeah, I had
him like second listed because I was like, I'm sure Crow's going to think of this guy.
I legit, like, I completely just mind wiped. I fucking hit the Men in Black, like, fucking neutralizer on Mineta. I'm just like, he's just not important.
I don't want to think about
him. He just isn't. Yeah, he just sucks. Like, legit, he just sucks. Like, there's nothing redeeming. Not even his fucking design. He looks stupid as fuck.
He can't even look cool.
Yeah, like, again, you brought up Sanji. I love Sanji. Fancy. Yeah, Sanji is also, he has more characters to him other than the Nami-chan and the Robin Swan shit. Which does get annoying. I'm tired of the fucking. I
don't like how after the time skip they made his like perviness amped up. I was like, this was your time to like dial it back. So
I get why they did it. They're like, oh, you're on an island for all men. But I was just like, this sucks. Yeah, I'm like, this shit sucks ass. And I love Sanji, but it does make him like one of my least favorite Straw Hats because of that shit. Because it's just the joke gets old. How many times can we have the same fucking joke? It's been 25 fucking years older. But
can't wait to see 25 more years when they reanimate it all.
Yeah, boy. Can't wait to see those nosebleeds. Can't wait to see his one eye to turn to a heart.
4K. Ooh, boy.
Which studio about to animate the shit out of that? But no, like, again, I don't hate Sanji. Sanji is fucking incredible. He's so cool. He's like the fucking like the get shit done guy. Because whenever the Straw Hats get separated, whenever like shit needs to get done and Luffy's on his own, Sanji's like getting everything done. Like anything that they need to get done logistically, Sanji's fucking on it. And I love that about his character. And he's cool. His fighting style's cool as hell. He's cool
like
as shit.
The perviness doesn't get in the way.
Of him being a relevant character. Yeah.
So like whenever Mineta is asked to do something, he's always like, it always feels like he's trying to spin it to be a little perverted. But when Sanji is asked to do something, he is like, this takes priority over everything else.
Yeah. Like, even his whole gimmick of like night fighting women, like, even that's just like, I'll take that. Like, that's not too bad. Where I'm just like, all right, you can be worthless because the enemy you fight is a woman, so you're just gonna lay down there and die and fuck up everything. But then, he got the other Straw Hats to watch his back. So I'm just like, even if it's like a thing that's like, I can't fight a woman, so I'm throwing away everybody's dream and we just gonna lose this battle and let this big spider woman kill us all. Like, he was willing to die. And then Robin, he literally cries out for Robin. And he's just like, Robin! Then she comes and saves him. And I'm just like, I love that moment
a lot because it was like he knew he was fully aware of his fucking perviness. And he's like, I can't hit them because they're women. So he was like, I also have enough faith in her to handle these people without me. And
Yep.
I was like, well, that is kind of like weird, and it's a little bit strange to have them like call to the other teammates. It wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I thought it was sick, and I love Robin. She's one of my favorite characters in One Piece, and having her have a good moment where she fucking shatters somebody's back, it was fucking sick.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. But yeah, Sanji wouldn't be on my list just because of that. I didn't think of him. I didn't think about Zenitsu. I'm not gonna lie. I watched One Piece, or not One Piece. I watched Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer. I fucking love Demon Slayer so much. I cannot stand characters that yell, dude. I cannot. I don't like characters that their whole thing is just yelling incessantly, like Zenitsu, like fucking Asta. You know, these characters get better, you know, and that's why I wouldn't like. I would say Zenitsu would be like an honorable mention for me.
I was like, yeah, I still really don't like, especially in the last arc. All he does in the last arc is scream and scream and scream.
And I feel like they did that in the most recent arc because the juxtaposition of how he ends the arc. And now I'm like, he my favorite character because the redeeming.
You haven't read the manga, so just wait until you find out why he did that, why he acts like that.
I'm so excited.
Intense.
I'm so excited, dude. I have so many theories, theory crafting. I'm so fucking excited, dude. Again, I love me a good hot-blooded anime main character like a Naruto. I can't stand characters that just fucking yell. Yeah, because Zenitsu, he has his cool moments, right? When he goes to sleep or whatever, and he's like doing all the cool thunderclap and flash in people's asses. Like, it's awesome. But him being awake and yelling and being just obnoxious about fucking Nezuko is annoying as fuck, and I hate it. I legitimately do not like him, but he has redeeming qualities. And in the most recent season, a lot of people have been saying that for a while, like, hey, wait for it. You're gonna love Zenitsu. And now I'm seeing it. I'm just like, yo, this motherfucker is locked in. I am excited. So I'm very, very excited. So again, honorable mentions Zenitsu, just because characters like him and Asta just like constantly being like in my fucking ear is just so obnoxious. Get him the fuck up out of here. But the character that I will put on this is a character I'm just like, they could have got this motherfucker the fuck out this show. That I really like. It ruined the season for me. Like it like, or not even really ruined the season, but it really dampened my enjoyment of the show. There's a couple of things that dampened it as well. But it is Asugoi and Nobuyuki, aka Oberon, the guy who kidnapped Asuna in the second season of Sword Art Online. God, I hated him. He was a fucking ass villain.
I have been unable to like formulate a good response for him. I hate him, but I don't hate him. I hate everything that he is and doesn't stand for, or that he does stand for, but I feel like that's the point. So I don't want to get him out of the show. Like I can deal with him because the point is to hate him.
Yes. So my reason why I put him on the list isn't even necessarily about his character, because all of that is understandable, right? I don't think it's necessarily terrible writing. I didn't like it as much. But my biggest thing is that it really did feel like it, I don't know, to me it felt like it was tacked on. Because it's like, all right, you finished the whole thing of Sword Art Online, and you guys do all of this shit, and then the one person doesn't come back. And now it feels like they're just like, all right, we got to fucking continue the Sword Art Online. And it's like, yeah, doing it again. So we got to go back in here and save Asuna. And I'm just like, Asuna's one of my favorite characters in the show. I love how they set her up as her own character, separate from Kirito.
And then
she was a part of the Knights. They take away all of her fucking agency. That's my problem. He's the avatar for taking away Asuna's agency as a character.
That's
and I hate that shit.
I never thought about that, because it all made sense to me, because it was like they knew each other in person. He's like, isn't he like betrothed to her or some bullshit?
Yeah.
And so
like,
it was like
that all makes sense.
And he had like all the connections to. So I was like, I know why it was her. It wasn't just some random. It was always going to be her. And then it was like, dude is obviously the villain. He's structured to be hated. So I was like, that all, while I hate him for being him, makes sense. But saying like he's the catalyst that made Asuna basically lose all of her character, that is a really good argument. Like
that's my problem. It's not about the writing.
She did have her own like thing going on in the original. and
that
like,
shit sucks because she just
like she keeps her kind of like chutzpah, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's like
like I still like her
within the context of the show. She can't do anything.
Yeah, she can't do shit.
But that's kind of the problem. So
yeah, so that's my thing. Is like I don't think that it's bad. It's just an anime Japanese thing where it's just like, all right, these characters once they become a love interest or whatever, they lose all their agency, and it's just like she doesn't do anything, and it's like it's relying on Kirito to save her. And I'm like, that's fine, but I was like, you set her up as this cool badass warrior, and the entire time she's just chained up in a cage. I'm just like, I like her. Why the fuck did y'all do this? It's like sideline her like this.
They never brought her back. Well, actually, they did it to her twice because they gave her the option to like be powerful again with I think it was I want to say it was ordinal scale, but I don't think that's accurate. Where she gets to learn the like 12 hit combo off of Zekken. And she was structured,
I don't know. I stopped watching it
to be like really powerful again, and then she's just like some guilty later. And I'm like, damn.
Like when Sword Art Online first came out, I fell in love with it. I love video games. I thought it was cool. I love a good death game. I'm a battle royale fan. I read the manga. I love it. I was so excited for it. It was like, you die in the game, you die in real life. And what's going to go on Kirito? He's a beta and all this shit. Like I was really, really enjoying it. And Asuna was awesome because her and Kirito were equals. And then they got together and got married. And I was like, ooh, relationship growth. And then they had like a digital kid or whatever the fuck, but whatever. And then I was like, I was really enjoying it. And then they just sidelined her. And I was just like, this sucks, man. Because it's like you took the character that I liked. Like I liked her not just because she was with Kirito, because she was just cool and did cool shit. And then they were just like, all right, put the bitch in the cage. She's just a female protagonist now. Damn. Where like she's just a heroine. And I'm just like, come on, man. That's my only real problem with him. And that motherfucker was the start of it. And that shit sucks. I love strong women.
I also really liked Asuna. Even in my background, like right here, there's 4 Asuna figures right
She's
here.
So cool. She's not overly sexualized. She's a strong fighter. She's competent.
Was easy to describe to my mom when she asked what I wanted for my birthday.
You know what I mean? Like she is awesome, and then she just gets female main character. Then I'm just like,
Right, she didn't get done dirty like that. I had never considered it like that, where it wasn't so much that he was bad. It was what he took away from someone else that made him bad.
That's the whole thing. He like licking the face and shit, and like, and I was like, come on, man. Like I get
weird as shit. And then, but I was like, that's the point, though. We're supposed to hate him.
But I'm not gonna lie. The best moment of that fucking season is when Kirito put the paws to that man in the streets. I fucking was like yelling. You know that old IGN like get meme of them like all the 4 dudes like getting hyped on the couch? That's how I was. I was like, Kirito beat his fucking ass. Like it was so good. But yeah, it sucks. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about the tentacles. But anyway. But yeah, that was my main problem. Like if they got that motherfucker out of there, maybe Asuna would have gotten another story that would have been something that she would be relevant in. And granted, I dropped off of Sword Art after the Alfheim season.
She does get a very powerful role in Alicization. She does like it takes her a long time because that's how the story was set up, but she does come in, she is very useful, and she does kind of like show her stuff again. So she does it's eventually like come outside. Back. But you guys stick around through whatever the hell that second world is, and then Gun Gale, and then real life, and then I'm not, back into Alicization.
I came back for Gun Gale. They were like, oh yeah, the secondary, the deuteragonist, she shot somebody with a gun when she was a kid. I was like, oh, she's sick. And then Shion is like getting bullied at school. She's like, murderer. I was like, what is this? How y'all bullying the girl that murdered somebody?
That's what I was like, how are you really picking on her for defending herself like that?
Yeah, that shit was wild. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, the girl who murdered somebody, that's who you gonna fuck with? But she was trying to protect the mama. Like, I loved her. She was like, my mom's in danger. She picked up the blicky. She was like, blah, blah. And I was like, that's so fucking like, good job. Because like, so as we did with the Mother's Day episode, so many mamas don't make it to the end of the show. Her mama's still alive. And then I guess she decided like, I'm gonna play the MMO with guns in it because of trauma. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, Shion was awesome. We don't talk about the cousin sister, but whatever. But yeah, what were we talking about? Anime characters we can't stand. I got a lot of thoughts and opinions about Sword Art. That's all I'll say.
We have a whole episode on the matter.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down to rant and rave. I'll marathon all of fucking Sword Art just so I can talk about it. Because I do love Sword Art.
My main one. The other two, one of them, so many people are going to be like, what?
I'm excited.
One of them is going to be like, I kind of get it. So I'll say the one that's like, I kind of get it. And then I'm going to go straight into the controversial one.
Ooh.
The one that I kind of like is kind of like on the line. Goblin Slayer. At the beginning, he was cool. In season 2, I was like, man, shut the fuck up. I get it. He
just want to slay goblins.
He literally could not make any single decision ever unless it was followed by, are there goblins? Every single line involved the goblin in that shit. And like, I get it, you're Goblin Slayer, but you
as a part of his branding.
Asked questions to go shopping, and you're like, will goblins be there? And then they're like, the 3 girls are like, we're gonna go shopping with us. And he's like, good, make sure you stay together. You might run into some goblins. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You're in the middle of town. Oh, it was so annoying. I was so angry that they did him like that, because he felt much more like reasonable in the first season, where you could speak to him, and it was like, yeah, his specialty is goblins, so it makes sense he brings them up a lot. But he kept bringing it up on shit that didn't even matter. So I was like, what the fuck? But he's not even the one that everyone's gonna be like, now wait a minute.
No, I was about to say.
This wait. Be split down the middle, or everyone's gonna turn against me. Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan. I fucking hated every aspect of his character.
What?
From the beginning to the end, he was never interesting.
What?
The show itself was like not even that good to me, because like I went through the manga, I got to the end, I was like, everybody else is cooler. Everybody.
All right.
Even
I gotta get the found
was cooler with his fucking mop haircut.
I gotta get the Found Titan. I gotta go back in time before the podcast started recording. I gotta whisper Tatakai in your ear so we can fix this. I gotta change this, Vic. You can't say Cowboy Bebop and Attack on Titan is bad.
He was like suddenly able to like instill memories of the future in somebody in the past of memories of the future. And I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense. And then he just like decides that his like the best course of action for controlling every Titan in the entire universe is to murder everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like all jokes aside, I totally get it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I get the Eren, like the stain. Having somebody else as the main character, like Armin, would fit better, or even Erwin. But yeah, so it's just like I actually like I don't know if that's gonna be a hot take. In all honesty, I kind of agree with that. I don't dislike Eren as probably as much as you.
Usually there's like some point where somebody's like, yeah, I liked Eren at the beginning, and then he turned into cringe, or he was cringe at the beginning and then he became like the bad guy, the bad boy, stud muffin man or whatever. But I didn't like him at any point. Like when he was a kid, he was fucking annoying. When he was like a teenager, he was useless, and then when he was an adult, he was literally the enemy of humanity.
Yeah.
I was like,
okay,
what?
So can I just say one redeeming thing for Eren? I will always love the Mikasa shit. When he saved Mikasa, he turns into fucking Michael Myers for some reason, where he's like murdering the dudes and like sneaking through the doors.
Those guys was annoying.
Yeah, I know, but it was sick. I love that shit.
I hate
he was
that
like
she
being
was
a little creep.
I hate that she was like so indebted to him over that. Like,
yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, she was like, "I will sell my soul and everybody else's for you." And it's like he did not do that much.
Yeah, he is not worth it.
He did not do that much for you. Like, he might have staved that guy off one time, but she like protected him for like 30 years.
He gave her a scarf. Fuck off, Vic.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever given a woman a scarf? is like is a forever bond.
Oh damn!
Did you see
That's
Naruto the
always-
last
that's
movie?
Been the, that's been
I'm
the
telling
thing
you,
that I'm
man.
missing. Dukes, you want a scarf?
Yes, get her a scar. I'll tell you, lock her down. She'll be yours forever.
But yeah, it was like I put him on the list, and I was like, I don't know if anybody's gonna like this answer, but I was like, I feel like I need to say it. Everybody needs to know. AOT is mid. AOT is mid as fuck.
Whoa. Hey, well, if you guys disagree with
good,
Vix,
though. It started off. I'll give like
I
season 1,
love
2 was
Attack on
pretty
Titan.
good, and then it just like spiraled into a bunch of bullshit.
so I like Attack on Titan more than you do. I still got to finish it. I haven't watched the final
You
season.
like it
part
more than me, but you
2.
haven't even finished it.
I don't watch shit, man. I'm always working.
Read it, Damon.
I can't read. I've been reading Solo Leveling. But no, I mean, I kind of agree with that. Aaron does kind of fucking
Just
suck.
made Levi the main character. He was cool as fuck.
Ooh, boy. But if you guys agree or disagree with Vix, don't throw that in the comments down below. Get to talking. Get to yelling at us.
I'll take it.
As we hate your
Bring it
favorite
on.
anime.
I'll debate all of you.
But yes, no, I think that's a fine pick in all honesty. I still do like Aaron though. Even though I'm just like, I don't agree with shit you doing, but it's at least interesting, I guess. And I will always love the
Tatakai.
Tatakai.
Designed Aaron to not be likable.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so that means I'm on at least the right side.
Yeah, and it also feels like it comes out of fucking nowhere. I'm just like, I get it, like all the information that he got changed his view on everything, but I'm just like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to vibe with this man? We just like,
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
it's
a totally
quite
different
now.
character. Yeah, I'm a totally different character, and I will kill everyone. You know, I'm just
the
like,
bill was like pretty decent. Like
Yeah.
finding out the wall of what the lore was behind the wall, and like finding out about his dad was cool, but him instilling the memory of the past future into his future past, then I was like, all right, what the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense.
yeah, but it was sick. They timey-wimey bullshit. They should have made.
Iron Mouse also does hate Attack on Titan, specifically Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron
Dude,
does
she
kind
has
of
a video
suck.
out where she just like roasts the shit out of him.
But yeah, I will say though that Yonko Kokopo should have been the main character.
He definitely should have been in it more, and they should have given
I
him a better
wish,
name.
dude. Yeah, I don't know if I pronounced it right. I do not fucking remember. But yeah, he was cool. And they were like, hey man, why you so black? And he was just like, well, you know, the God decided that people should come in all different shades and shit. You're like, why black? I'm just like, what the hell's going on in this show? But you know, I always rep the black guy in anime. I got to. There's not enough of you. But yes, well, I guess with those controversial picks of characters that we would like to see obliterated from the face of the earth, you guys can let us know what is a character that you cannot stand. Even if it's not a direct character, but a character archetype, kind of like the pervy character. Again, we talk about that a lot, like a Mineta or a Sanji, and that annoys you. Let us know in the comments. We're going to head on over to our second Q&A of the pod before we head over to our final topic of the day. All right, and to move on to the final topic of the podcast. Oh, you guys are ready. It's a good one. It's a fun one. It's a delicious one. Hopefully you guys made it all the way in to the to the end of the podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying it. But we're going to be talking about, for the last topic of today, the greatest broment in anime. I'm so excited to talk about this because, again, anime has a lot of good bromance, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the bromance, the best bromance.
The best bromance. And then we're going to be talking about the best bromance. But no, the best bromance in anime. So, again, if you guys don't know what a broment is when the two characters, these two guys who probably share like an amazing, immaculate bond, come together with the most awesome tag team cooperative moment of all time, whether that's in a fight, whether that's just like an emotional moment where they like trying to make the other character understand where they're coming from and they confide in each other. That's a good bromance. And there's been a lot of good bromance on this podcast. But we're going to be talking about bromance in anime. So I hope you guys are excited for this. So Vix, do you want to go first or I can do you mine?
I'll go ahead and start. I got a couple of them. I'm gonna start with one that might teeter on not particularly being a bromant, but I feel like it does kind of fall into that realm. And I didn't get to bring it up like 14 episodes ago when we did cool moments, so I'm gonna bring it up now.
Yeah.
In Black Clover, when they're doing the like magic games, when the Black Bulls pull up on Langeris, when they just like all fly in from off sides, and they're like, if you keep going, we will fucking kill you right here, right now. And they're like, test me. They like, Asta's got his sword to his throat, and Magna's got his flaming bat. Like Lux got his like lightning claw out. Even Charmy, way off in the distance, has her magic out. That shit was like, it was cool because it was like they really showed like we stand together. Like this is our guy. We let him go in this game and go all the way until he couldn't anymore, and now he's done. And they were looking at him and they were like, if you keep going, we will show you what it means to be a Black Bull. I was like, that's so fucking cool. And it was like how they animated it too was like sick, because you didn't even realize what was happening at first. And like the animation of Langeris, of his hand and his mind is like being taken over or something. It's all like so intense. And it was so cool. I put it in my Discord because I was like, guys, I can't believe I missed this. But it was definitely one of the most like we stand together moments. And I can't think of another one that was like quite as good. There are a lot of we stand together moments, but that one was like really strong. Like it really showcased how close they were and how much they trusted in each other to do their best. And then how much that they knew they could trust in everybody else in case they were in trouble. So there was a bond that went both ways in that moment that showed they believe in me to do my best, and I believe in them to cover me when I don't measure up. And I was like, that's so fucking cool, dude. It was such a good moment in that show. I'm glad that they took their time and animated that really well, because if they had done the 7 deadly frames treatment on that, I would have been so angry.
That's the crazy thing about Black Clover, and what made me originally want to watch it, in spite of the fact of me not liking Asta at first. Because randomly, this shit would just have the best animation. A random fight would happen.
They did it on purpose. I think they did it on purpose. I swear, because I actually thought about it from Into the Spider-Verse, where they intentionally made Miles's frame rate lower.
Yeah.
So that actually it was the tick rate, I think, that was lower.
So his frames, he was animated on 12s, while most animation and that was be 24, so it could be smooth.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the first movie, he's animated on 24s to show that he learned how to use his powers and he's in tune with himself. So he's not animated in the stuttery animation anymore.
I think they were trying to do something like that. I don't think they did it right with some of their animations like really jacked. And it almost made me stop watching because some of it was like really bad. But I think that's what they were trying to do, because that will never happen against like captain level fights. The captain level fights are always really smooth. They're very glossy. There's never any like stuttering in them. It only happens with the inexperienced and novice level mages. So like when Asta's starting out, they even show it with I forget the dude's name. Fuegelion's
his brother?
Like, no, it was Fuegelion's like lieutenant or whatever. Named Leo, I think, also has some fights, but in he's also like poorly animated. And I was like, how can you just let that slide like that? And it was like, the more I watched it, I was like, they have to be doing it on purpose, because it never happens when high level people fight. So
I think that I know a lot of see. I mean, that's
purpose somehow. They're probably doing it wrong, but they're doing it on purpose.
So I mean, that's a very commendable way of looking at it, and an interesting way to look at it. I just think it's a budget thing. They're like, yo, we can't fucking spend time animating this shit. We only gonna save the budget for the big fights. But I mean, it may just be like, hey, this fight isn't that important, so we're not going to spend that much time on it, and it will show like the differences in classes of fighters by showing like how their fights are so slick and smooth, and how they like are battling on a whole nother level than people like Asta and the other like random Black Bull members and shit like that. Maybe you never know, man. There's a lot of intent behind it, but I think it's probably just budget.
I mean, that's probably definitely a part of it. But if they're like, I have to pick and choose, then I think they're doing it that way. It's like, you know, sometimes the budget goes a weird way and you just have like a really high level fight that just ends up really being buggy. but they never had that happen in Black Clover, where none of the high level fights. And like the longer that the show went on, the less those instances showed up. So I was like, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I need to go back to watch. Again, I say this all the fucking time. I do need to catch up on Black Clover. It's on the to-do list.
But yeah, their like magic competitions was fucking sick. Them pulling up like that is probably one of the coldest moments in anime, period. That shit is like resonates with your soul.
I'm trying to think if I got up to that part, but I don't think I did.
Probably not. From what I've heard, you said you got up to the Eye of the Midnight Sun. This is
Yeah.
way past that.
Okay, then yeah, okay. Well, I'll get there eventually.
But
All right.
yeah, who you got for your broment?
All right. I'm just gonna say it.
Is this the one
I mean, we talked about it
by
earlier.
our resident Dukes?
Yes, because that's such a good one, man. Brother, besto friendo. Toto and Yuji Itadori. I fucking love their relationship. I love it so much. Again, them resonating over their interest in women is, I mean, I get Toto's whole character where it's like, oh, you know, Yuki did it to him and whatever. He's doing it to gauge, you know, Yuji. And Yuji was like, yeah, I just want me a tall woman with a fat ass. And I'm just like, yeah, I redeemed my favorite main character now. And then Toto felt the same way. He was like, I respect you. And they just get this weird relationship. Yeah. And then Toto's just like, oh yeah, you're my best friend now. I've already implanted you in my mind. But he has the power.
In my mind,
he has the.
We have grown up together. We've been best friends for the ages.
I love that.
I didn't come up with that like as I was going through through my list. I can't believe I never landed on that. It just like it feels so normal.
It's so it's so obvious. And it's been like a thing for a while now, especially when reading the manga. But no, I love that shit because he has like what's the main character of the Bleach arc that can implant himself in other people's memories? Like he has that power, but it only works for himself. So he just
I know who you're
Yuji.
talking about. I don't know that guy. He's not one of the main.
Yeah,
he's like one of the Richten sliders or whatever they're called.
He's the guy in whatever. Yeah, whatever. Fuck the one when Ichigo lost his power that arc, and he's just like, I'm the main guy.
He was a Fullbringer.
Yeah, Fullbringer, the Fullbringer arc. But yeah, he only do it on himself. And I love Toto so much. Like, he's one of my favorite characters in the show. He's so goddamn good. And I love the fact that he just takes Yuji under his wing. And from the first moment when they're in the training grounds versus the, Kyoto school.
He wasted no time on that, too. He was like, middle of the fight, he was like, I like tall women with a fat ass. And he was like, I'm training you right now.
Dude, it's so fucking sick. It's like it has nothing to do with the story too, because it's like they're supposed to be fighting and doing this whole battle thing between schools. And he's like, oh fuck that shit. Well, you my brother, like, we training. I'm about to make you strong. You over here so many black flashes. Dude, I love their moments. Like them versus Hanami was fucking sick. Boogie Woogie is such a fun power.
I love
how simple it is.
Woogie too.
Like, I love whenever they show him like doing successive claps. It's so because he's so goofy, and I love comedy, and I love that Toto is like a fucking weirdo. And then even going from the Hanami fight, because that was awesome, the awesome brother broment moment between the two boys, and then also them versus Mahito. When Toto comes in, he swoops in while Yuji's at his fucking lowest, and he swoops in to pick up his spirits and be there to help him through that fight. Awesome. And there's even more moments like that. I love Toto. He's so fucking sick. I love Yuji as a main character, even though I know a lot of people be like, Yuji's not even the only main character in his own damn series. I love Yuji. I love Yuji so much.
He will be soon.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no. But yes, I love their relationship. It's so stupid. I love the fact that Yuji just goes with it. Like he's just like, I'm not your brother or whatever. But then after a while, he's just like, all right, I'm going with it. It happens. Yeah, it's weird that I'm not gonna go into it, but some other broment moments happen with other characters in the show as well, which I could have talked about as well. But it's more recent anime stuff. But I really and truly love their relationship. There's two of my favorite characters in the show. I love characters that just throw hands, and them and then Yuji and Nanami are the reason why it's called Jump Kaizen, because they just double team motherfuckers. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, they don't pull no Saiyan pride or anything. They're like, we are kicking this guy's ass.
You gotta die
right now.
Yeah, dude. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, the brothers have the best broment moments. I love it so much. It's so dumb, but they're the best. And I love how Yuji's just like, what do you mean? We have not been friends. We just met. And then Toto's just like, you're my brother. I'm just like, it's so good. But JJK is fantastic. And again, I love my boys. But Vix, did you have another one for your list?
I have at least 3 totals. I went over one. The next one, it's going to be more friendly, more so than like deep, but it does still show the bond between the 2 characters. If you have hopefully read 7 Deadly Sins, it's still good when this happens in the anime, but just go through the manga. Meliodas and Vaughn, when they reunite for the first time, and they're just like so happy to see each other. They have like the like happy giddiness, and they're doing all the like crazy high fives and the arm wrestling and whatever, and they end up
love that shit.
The magically reinforced tower.
Yeah, I love how everybody's just like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just roughhousing.
Yeah. They're just like, Bond, boom! Just knocks him 4 rooms away, and then he emerges like all bloody, and he's like, Captain! Bah!
Dude, again, 7 Deadly Sins used to be good.
They're like bond between the 2 of them is like, it's so deep going through the rest of this story. There's several other moments where you get to see like Bon is essentially immortals, right? So he'll like never died, or he's never been able to die rather. And so he's known Meliodas the longest of the other 7 Deadly Sins. And he has seen Meliodas at his peak, his strongest, his lowest emotionally. He's seen like everything except for, I think technically Elizabeth has known him longer technically, but Bond has been like more of a standard in Meliodas's like being. And so when every time they get together, they have this like resonance between them where they can just like they measure up with each other every time. One of the more funny moments is like when they're in this like death tournament, and Meliodas and Bond are paired up together, and they're going against these like demonic bird guys, and they get distracted by talking about their girlfriends. So Meliodas talking about Elizabeth, and then Bond talking about Elaine, and they're just chit-chatting, just standing there, and they are both just like they're like getting attacked by these bird guys. And when they get hit, the guy like breaks his own leg off, and Bond is just like, hey Captain, you got something on your head, and then he just takes it and hits him with it. It's so, they're so goofy together that they like, it feels like a bromance meant to be kind of moment. They always do that with each other, and then like when push comes to shove, then you can always tell that, you know, not only just Bond but all of the Sins are like, they're there for each other, but it's like Bond and Meliodas were the start of the Sins. So they are the closest, they've been through the most. I think that their like goofiness really just empowers their relationship.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I really, really like Bond as a character too. I love his backstory. I love his introduction with Jericho and him like having the big beard, and then he's like fighting her. She's like, "I want to kill you," and
That
she
was
like cuts his
fucking
face arrow.
When he was just
it was
like,
so
thanks, I
good.
really needed a cut.
Yeah, like again, that just really showed how sick he is. And again, that moment with him and Meliodas meeting again for the first time in forever, I love that moment so much. Again, I was a huge fan of 7 Deadly Sins, and though that moment really sold me on the show. That and the fucking like javelin return throw.
That was sick too.
That was so sick. Meliodas just like, wait a minute.
Man. But if you liked it all the way up until they butchered the anime, please go back and read the manga. It's so good. Like, I can't believe how bad they butchered it. Like,
God, it was so sick.
Keep talking about Remonster being butchered. Oh my God, they take so much away from it. I can't even fathom how badly they ruined the fight between Meliodas and the One. That was gonna be like peak combat for like one moment, and they fucking ruined it for the entire season. Was just butchered. Not even just like the one frame where like Meliodas was drawn really poorly. I could have let that go, but they kept doing it, and I was like,
he turned to like a muffin man.
I was like, oh,
he turned into a muffin man.
Yeah, but man, I really wish that they could have just kept the anime going as good as they started. I know it was because they switched studios, and it's just so unfortunate because the lengths that Bond goes through for Meliodas, not even in the anime yet. Are they even still going with the anime? I don't even know how far it went.
I don't know. I dropped it.
He literally lives for spoiler alert. if you wanted to
just turn down my headset.
If you wanted to keep this spoiler free for Seven Deadly Sins, there is a time where when Meliodas is unconscious, that in order to get him back, they have to go into purgatory, and purgatory ages thousands of years per second, and so nobody can go in there, right? Because they'll age and die immediately. And he does. So he goes in there and he like literally he like goes through purgatory for like 10,000, 100,000 years or something. And he doesn't like escape the woes of the aging issue, because it also involves like frostbite, hellfire, and so he gets all of his skin burnt off repeatedly. He gets frozen on repeat, and over the course of several thousand years, he ends up like having to fight or kill some monsters that are there to get like just clothes, because his clothes deteriorate. So he has to get special like demon skin clothes, and he goes through such extreme lengths. I think any of the Sins would have done it if they were capable of doing it, but Bond actually did it. So that is like really, he's like, this is my guy forever, literally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
dude, that's sick. Maybe I need to read the manga.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. But do you have another broment that you would like to share?
All right, so I'm stealing this from the community. I'm stealing it from Brother Ra, because apparently that's what I do. But now I'm stealing it from Ra, a thief. So again, like I was saying, I'm going to steal one from Brother Ra. My Brother Ra. Again, we had some broments, me and Brother Ra. But yeah, we're pulling this from the community. My next broment would be, this is going to be a weird one, because it's kind of a broment, but not really a broment in the same time. We're going to be talking about the bromance between Goku and Frieza. Not probably the one that most people will think about. Yeah. So you didn't watch Super, right? So I'm about to educate you. So
if you fucking talk about the Jiren fight as them having a bromance.
Yeah. Okay, so here, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is no. Hear me out. Let me talk my talk. So what I love about the Frieza and Goku thing, because they fucking hate each other. And rightfully so. Obviously, Frieza's, killed Goku's entire race and his best friend. So Goku hates Frieza. And then Frieza hates Goku because Frieza's fucking racist. But when they had to revive Frieza for the Tournament of Power, which I think was stupid. I mean, they had Boo, and they did this whole build up for Boo, and then Boo just fell asleep or whatever. We ain't gonna get into all that dumb bullshit. But what I just love the interactions between Goku and Frieza, because you know their history, right? And one of my favorite moments is when Frieza's just being revived, and they're like on Kami's lookout, and they're talking shit. And then Frieza just gut checks Goku. And he's like, oh, you're getting a little weak, saying, like, he punches him in the stomach while Goku's talking to him. And Goku's just like, oh shit. And he's just like, yeah, got you. He's like, yeah, you bring me back, I'm gonna fuck up all your shit. And then he's talking shit to Goku, and Goku gut checks him back, and they both like are just
a bromance to me.
But I love that shit because they just like it's like they both like checking each other all the time, and they're just like, all right, Frieza, you do anything, gotta watch, I'm gonna fuck you up, right? And again, it's not a bromance because Frieza is still Frieza. But I'm not gonna lie, at the end of the Tournament of Power, like after they all go through their bullshit, and Frieza's kind of like off on his own, doing his own shit, fighting, doing the death beams and lasering everybody around. Really fucking cool. But at the end, when it was just Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 versus Jiren, the fact that Frieza and Goku had to put all that shit aside and work together and have one of my favorite moments from Super. It's one of the coolest fucking moments when they're finally about to knock out Jiren.
I will say that them teaming up in the Tournament of Power was pretty cool. I watched a lot of the fights. Still wouldn't call that a bromance.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a semi-bromance because they're not bros.
I would get that far.
No, hear me out. They're not bros, but they gain like this weird mutual respect for each other after going through this battle. Because when they have to like volleyball throw each other at Jiren, and Frieza and Goku are both going off, and then the last moment where they're both charging Jiren, and Goku's like flashing in and out of Super Saiyan. God, that image will live in my head. It was so fucking cool. I love that moment. And again, you would have never thought you would have got that kind of moment versus Goku and Frieza, right? And so while I wouldn't necessarily call it a bromance, I mostly bring this up because Rob brought it up and I think it's funny as hell. But that moment was cool as fuck. But Frieza did get a measure of respect for Goku after that. So this is kind of a manga spoiler. Yes, because it's a manga spoiler. So in the future, because Frieza's whole thing was he never trained in his life. He was just naturally the strongest person in the universe, right? That's why he's the emperor of the universe. He's going around conquering planets with the Saiyans, all that stuff. So after him getting smoked by Goku and again getting smoked by Trunks, when he came back, he was like, I need to train. And that was what led, after he was revived, to the whole Battle of God or Resurrection of F movie, right? And so he was like training. And he started to enjoy training. And that influence came from Goku. And then in the manga, this is a spoiler alert for the manga, hasn't been animated yet. Probably won't be animated for a while because apparently they just got, Super on hold for forever. It's been 6 years since it ended. But there's a moment where Frieza comes back. And spoiler alert for the Dragon Ball Super manga. Frieza comes back stronger than ever. And he just one-shots Goku and Vegeta. And it's just like, what?
In their strongest forms, too. Not even
in
just,
their
base
strongest
Goku,
form.
Base Vegeta. They got their like new forms and whatever, and Frieza pulls up and is like, by the way, wham!
Yeah, somehow Frieza returns and he just one-shots both of them. And old Frieza would have murked them, but he just leaves. And I think that's very interesting for his character growth, where he's just like, I want to train now. I want to test myself against you guys. So I'm going to show you where I am right now. Now you guys have this next step that you got to come and test me. I've been training in the Hyper Time Chamber for 10 years of Hyper Time Chamber time. So it's like fucking years and years and years of his life he spent training. And he's like, now I'm the new top dog. And I'm interested to see where that's go because Frieza's whole thing was like, I want to kill Beerus. I want to become the next god of destruction. No one could be stronger than me. And I think that's interesting, showing him from being like this petulant royal dignitary, like emperor that was ruling the galaxy, to someone who was bested, had to be brought low and humbled, but still is him, but also has changed and grown to this guy who's like, I'm going to actually work for it and get what I want. Like, he didn't turn into a good guy like a Piccolo or a Vegeta. He's still Frieza doing terrible shit, but you can see the growth. And it's interesting because that all comes through his relationship with Goku. So I wouldn't say it's a bromance at all. Their relationship is so interesting to me as a dynamic, seeing how they both grown as characters. And it showed that there's not a lot of character growth other than like Gohan and maybe Vegeta and Piccolo. Most characters stay pretty stagnant. But yeah, so I really like that moment, and I like Frieza and Goku's characters. I think it's very interesting. I'm excited to see what they do whenever the manga comes back. Obviously, rest in peace, the GOAT, the legend, Akira Toriyama. I'm excited to see where they go. It's sad that he won't be here to experience it, but I love Dragon Ball, and I never expected to give a fuck about Frieza. Cell coming back, I would love that Cell came back. Cell's more rational and more interesting to me because he is like part Saiyan, so you'd be a little bit more relatable. And I love his relationship, especially in the games, whenever he's talking to like Gohan, and he's brought back in like weird what ifs in games. But Frieza just was a surprise. I thought he was just gonna be like this one note, like, oh, they brought him back just for nostalgia. But he's super interesting to me in the manga right now. So that's another one, a little off the wall, but I would have thrown that one up there as a broment.
I don't think you sold me. I know you said it wasn't a broment, but I don't know. Maybe we'd have to throw that one up for
let me have my hot take of the podcast.
Team ups or something.
I mean, yes, but dude, they have like I do. I love the moment when they both gut check each other. I love that fucking moment, dude. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So who is your next character, sucker?
So my next one, I'm gonna address what Alcatraz said in the chat real quick, where he says any interaction between the Eldrick brothers is a broment. I have exactly that word for word written down. Any interaction between Edward and Alphonse Elric.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being honest. Obviously they're actual brothers, and God, I love both Ed and Al.
They
I love Ed and Al
so well.
Okay, so I know you. This is your choice. I'll keep this quick.
I'll say that was on my list, but this isn't my next one.
Okay, can I just say one thing?
You can take it.
One of my favorite fucking things is them going back and forth to sacrifice for each other at the end of the original Fullmetal Alchemist series. When Al becomes the Philosopher's Stone, and then he brings back Ed with his full arm and leg, and then Ed is like, "Fuck that! Bring my brother back," and he swaps it, brings back Alphonse in his full body, and he gets taken to conquer Shambhala land. God, I love that moment. Like them both sacrificing everything for each other. What's a more brother moment than that? I fucking love that shit. That was like, I still think that the original like Brotherhood is fucking 10 out of 10, perfect. I still stand by the original series. The original series, even with its own anime only exclusive ending, is still fucking phenomenal. God, I love that moment. And Rose had melanin in the original series, and they took that shit away. They were like, "Yo, melanin is mine," and then she just had like the little pink bangs, and then she was like all light skinned. I was like, "What the fuck?
What have you done?
What have you done?" But anyway, I'll talk about that. Ed and Al, amazing fucking characters. Fullmetal Alchemist is the GOAT for a reason. Watch it if you have not watched it.
All right, so now I'm gonna grab mine, and this is one specific moment that shows everybody's like connection to Naruto. It was Naruto's birthday, and he was having the like festive ramen with his own shadow clones, and he was like talking to himself about how he wish he had people around, and Lee sees it, and he not only goes and like, he doesn't just go to make Naruto feel better. He goes and gets everybody to come have a party with Naruto, and that's like, if you think he probably couldn't even hear Naruto through the window, so he just saw it and saw that Naruto was like really bummed out, and he's like, "Hey guys, we gotta go cheer up our boy. This is our man. We gotta get there, and we gotta make sure that he is." Like, he's not sad, he's not depressed. We got to make sure that he's having a good time. So he pulls up the entire every fucking team, and he's like, "Heard it was your birthday." And so they all have this like really shitty impromptu party in Naruto's like rundown apartment, and it really just like, it really shows how much like Lee at least has like come to grow with Naruto, but everybody as well, because everybody showed up at the very beginning. Not many people probably would have showed up. Like, it might have been Shikamaru, maybe Choji. Lee probably way back in the original Naruto probably would not have come. But how much of an impact that Naruto has had on everybody, and how everybody has like grown so close together over their like mass amounts of trauma and disaster writing that they've all done. They've come so close together that they now just like, they look out for each other. That's how I'm looking for. They're looking out for each other. They see someone who's depressed or a little bit off, and they're like, "Hey, get on it. We're gonna take care of you. We got you, bro. You are with us, and when you are with us, we have your back. And that really and it really shows that it's not just in combat. Like, you know that in combat they're gonna have your back. It's moments like those that really make you believe that they're gonna have your back in combat, because it's not in combat. So that is probably one of the, like, every time I see that moment, I'm like, get a little teared up a little bit. So it's so good. It's so good. I want more like that. I think that was a filler, actually.
There's a lot of filler, which I love.
Naruto has like good fillers, though.
Yeah.
For the most part, like, they got some of them that are really dumb.
Yeah, some of them. I feel like original Naruto had better filler than. I mean, it was a lot, but I think I had better filler than Shippuden.
Ain't nothing got more fillers than fucking Fairy Tail, and they're like rubber suited bandits.
Yeah,
that was the dumbest shit ever.
But yeah, like, again, I talked about Lee on the podcast before. Lee is my favorite character from Naruto.
That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
He's so fucking good, dude. And my thing is, like, I wish he got more screen time, but his relationship with Naruto was great. I mean, Naruto going out of his way to bring Tsunade back to the village, to not only just be the Hokage as a replacement, but also to heal Lee, because he and Lee had such a tight bonding experience together. Their relationship was like very special, even if it was mildly understated. I love the filler where Naruto is like training with them and he's wearing the gi, the green gi.
Yeah.
And he's like doing all the taijutsu. I love that. I love Naruto and Lee so much. Lee is hands down my favorite character in Naruto. He has some of the sickest moments. He still has the best fight to me. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the Gaara fight is still like top tier fucking anime fights of all fucking time. It's one of my favorite fights in the show. It's why I and probably a lot of people got fucking hyped and like got hooked into the show, because that fight's so fucking awesome. And he does the thing that we always gush about on the fucking podcast, us dying on his feet, you know, like losing standing up.
Oh yeah.
God. Like him standing up and having the pose, and guys like Guy and Kakashi like peep it first, and they look at him and they're like, oh shit. And then Guy like starts like getting emotional, and he goes there to be with Lee because Gaara's like, oh shit, he's up. And then Guy's like, no, he's done. But he's like, you're a man.
Yeah, he's got just stacked with so much willpower that he's like,
woo!
He's like, Lee, you are done. Like, I can feel your resolve to continue this fight, but you're done. So,
and then knowing that his leg is broken beyond repair, his arm is shattered, and he still stood up after that.
Yeah, you're like, no way. Like, yeah, even them explaining the medical condition afterwards was like,
yeah, they were like, all your bones are just like fucking dust. Like, you got shrapnel of bones all over the place. It's a miracle you can even walk a little bit. You got jelly leg, and that's why Lee's my boy. Like, yeah.
And then it's a guy that's in the wheelchair in Boruto.
Yeah. I mean, their whole fighting style is destroying their body. So, I mean, had to have some consequences, but it does suck. But I do love the Boruto portion where he's like training them, and he's just like fighting on one leg, and he's just like, he's still a motherfucking, he's still that dude, even with one leg.
I only need one leg
to kick your ass.
I am the greatest.
Yeah. Also, to kind of gush on the guy. I mean, that Kasami fight. Ooh, boy, I love that shit. Don't move an inch, motherfucker.
That was cold.
That was like ice cold.
He's like, don't move. And it's like, you know, most people where if it's like they twitch a little bit or anything, they're, you know, it's just like a normal human movement, so they just disregard it.
Yeah, they were like, what did I tell you?
Finger. I think it was his thumb, and he was immediately, bam,
and he just killed him. And I was just like, guy, that dude,
don't move.
Like it wasn't like an idle threat. Like, he warned him once, and he was like, I stand by my word. Don't fucking move. And he just obliterated him. So good. So good. Guy and Lee. I love him. I love Naruto. But yeah, that's a good one. And what's your last one? Because I don't really have another one unless I can think of something. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of them. We could keep it Naruto. You got bromance between Naruto and Sasuke. It's early Naruto. I love it so much, like their relationship, just to keep it here, because I honestly didn't have another one. But when they're training with Kakashi to learn chakra control, and they're having the competition of who can run up the tree the highest, I love that so much.
That was like they were both Team 7's like training drill, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sakura was there as well, but Sakura cool, like did it perfect the first time
between themselves
Yeah, I love that because Sakura was like perfect, so she just did it.
And then
She's
it
good
was
with
Naruto
chakra.
and Sasuke. And then
Yeah, the Naruto and Sasuke both suck. And they kept like one-upping each other, helping each other out, and they learned how to walk on the water. And like their little competition and brotherhood and their bond, as they always love saying in Naruto, was great. And I love the fact, like, again, the Great Naruto Bridge arc or the Zabuza arc, whatever the fuck the arc is called. Fantastic. I love that shit where Sasuke sacrifices himself for Naruto. And Naruto's just like, why did you do that? I thought you hated me. And then Sasuke's just out and Naruto snaps. Woo! I love that moment when he brings out the demon, the nine-tailed chakra, and he fucking decks Haku.
Haku didn't make it through that because fucking Haku's crystal ice mirror was cool as fuck.
Dude, I love their relationship so much. And then when it all kind of like, because Sasuke was always teasing Naruto, like, yo, fucking scaredy cat, because all this opposite shit. He's like, yeah, Naruto, you can't cut it, you can't hack it. And that's when Naruto did the whole thing with the kunai. He stabbed himself to be like, this is to show my resolve or whatever. He's bleeding all over the place. But then the moment in the fucking tuning exam, when they were in the forest, Sasuke getting his ass waxed. I love that moment because when Orochimaru was about to fuck his shit up and then Sasuke's like freaking out because he got the big spider, he's like, this dude's way stronger than me, he's like going crazy, and then Naruto comes in like the fucking goat that he is, and he got the two kunais in both of his hands, and he's like got his back turned to the snake, and he stabs him and holds him in front of Sasuke, and he looks up with the fucking QB eyes, and he's just
and you can tell he's like barely starting to transform because even the whiskers become like separated,
like more frayed.
You're like
yeah, he's like, what's wrong, scaredy cat? And Sasuke wakes up. It's there's so many good moments, man. So many good moments like that. Again, I wish it stayed like that and they did the whole Sasuke fucking off and pretty much being worthless arc.
He just kept coming back a little stronger. You never really got to see why.
Yeah, and I'm just like, cool. I always say this. Sasuke did more being evil than being in the village. He killed Orochimaru. He killed Itachi. Didn't really take Killer Bee. Like, he didn't do anything. So I was just like, what was the whole point of him starting his whole fucking group to do nothing? But anyway, whatever. But yeah, I love the early Naruto Sasuke relationship.
Orochimaru, but Orochimaru didn't die. And then he killed Itachi, but it wasn't him that did it. It was Itachi's illness. He killed Danzo, who was basically
evil.
An inward nuke.
Yeah. What now? No. But yeah, like he did good stuff. And as I was like,
methods were questionable, but the results were probably pretty good. He took out at least 2 members of the Akatsuki.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I thought it was weird. And the moment when I hated Sasuke was when like Itachi set up all of this stuff. He set up all of this stuff, and then Sasuke just threw it away. He was like, take my eyes, take my name. You know, I'm one of the biggest threats in all of the world. You kill me, you come back and be a hero. And Sasuke was like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do dumb shit on my own. And I was just like, all right, I'm done with Sasuke. Like, that was the moment where I was like, I don't fucking care about anything he does anymore. Kill him. Like, I was just straight up, I was done. And I don't think that's proven wrong. He didn't do shit after that. Then he was like, I'm gonna summon all the Hokages.
He was trying to do stuff. Like, he tried to take on the 5 Kages. It didn't go very well, but he tried.
Yeah, he rolled up like a badass and got washed. And I was like, oh, come on, man.
Or didn't he take A's hand? Or wait, was he? No, yeah, because he coded his Susanoo in Amaterasu, and then A punched it. So that he did that, got the hand of the Raikage.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. Like,
he was losing to Gaara.
It just, I don't know.
He fought Daidara. He almost lost. Did he fight anybody else?
I'm trying to think. He fought Killer Bee.
Absolutely fucking washed against B.
I love that fight. Oh my god, the entire team just got fucking shit on. I was like, Killer Bee the sick. He had 8 swords, had him in his armpits and shit, and he was like flipping all over around and rapping and just whooping the ass. I
I almost couldn't even fault him for losing that fight because I was like, how the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, how you beat like Killer Bee? Like, I love how he's like comedy relief.
Ball of death.
Yeah, like he's played for comedy relief, but he's shown is so competent. I love B. B's so fucking sick, dude. Oh god, I that fight it will live in infamy because I love the fact that Sasuke just got fucking washed by him, and then even when they thought they won, it was like, no, it's just a tentacle, and I was like, ha, you stupid bitch. So even the evil thing he was gonna do by selling B didn't happen. So it's just like, it just felt weird when Sasuke was just like doing nothing pretty much. Like everything he did was like a net negative or a net gain. So I was just like, are you a bad? What is this? And then you only get like again nice bromance in the movies because every movie Sasuke would show up and him and Naruto would have to team up for some reason. And I was like, no, this is cool. But you know, in the main series, I was just like, get to it. And then he just went and blew each other's arms up or whatever. And he was like, I want to be Hokage. And I was like, man, it's dumb. But anyway. But yeah, all right. So what's your last one? I don't know. That came out of nowhere.
My last one is going to be from Dr. Stone. It's going to be Senku and Taiju. Specifically, the moment that really showed how much they knew each other was when Tsukasa ended up killing Senku, and Taiju managed to bring him back because Senku was like hinting that there was still like petrification on his neck, and then Senku like baited Tsukasa to kill him by neck, by breaking his neck, so that when Taiju like picked up on it, he was like, wait a minute, he didn't used to do that. That was something new. So then he went to inspect, and he's like, oh wait, he said
that was really sick.
Said that this like fixes all ailments, so let's see if this fixes it. And he brings him back, and you can tell how much that they're like they have so much faith in each other for everything. Like out of everything going on, he knew that he could bring Taiju out of petrification to be like his right hand man. He's like, this is my muscle, this is my guy. Between the two of us, we are unstoppable.
Yep.
So they're like, I guess it's not even just a broment, it's like their whole bromance. It spans over the entirety of the show. Every single time that Senku is like, I need something, Taiju's like, I got you. And then every time that Taiju's like, I might need something, Senku's like, I already took care of it. They have so much faith in each other that it is actually bonkers.
Yeah, I love their relationship. I was worried for a while that Taiju was going to get like sidelined a bit with some of the things that happened.
He's just such an oath that when they brought Tsukasa out, I was like, oh shit, they're just gonna have better Taiju now.
Yeah. And then that didn't turn out that way.
It didn't go that way at all. So, and even still, even like way later when Tsukasa is not evil anymore, that still didn't happen. Tsukasa kind of got like his own like role. He was more of a combatant, and Taiju was just labor intensive. He was very good at doing like the mundane things. He, strangely enough, really came to like enjoy farming. So
he's just strong.
Yeah, he just got to do that all the time. But yeah, Senku and Taiju, definitely probably my last bromance team. They were fantastic.
I love Dr. Stone, dude. I need to go back and finish it. Because I know I say it all the time.
Tell this man to finish Dr. Stone.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's made by one of my favorite artists too, because Boshi is fucking sick. I love
Sunken Rock.
Sunken Rock is like, the artwork is so sick. I love the plot. Yeah, he literally is. Like, Sunken Rock is so fucking sick, dude. Read Sunken Rock. It's really good. It get wild at times, but it's really fucking sick. But yeah, I love Dr. Stone. I will be going back and finishing it. Again, I was waiting for the next season, and then I just didn't go back and watch it. Normally what happened with me, I'll be waiting for the next season, and then it comes, and I just don't watch it. So I need to get my life together. But now that I have, and what is it, Anime Planet, Anime Network, whatever the website you just told me about.
Yeah.
Anime Planet. Now I can make a whole to-do list
as like one of my bookmarks, because I'm like, that way I'll never forget to like check it. Because every now and then I'll just like get in the zone, and then I'll forget to go back and check it. And then I just see it in the bookmark bar, and I'm like, oh yeah, I better update that real quick.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to have to start doing that, because I don't have a lot of time. And I try to keep up with like the big shows of that season, and sometimes I just don't do it because life and shit. But I will be catching up with some anime, and then you guys will be hearing updates from me from time to time, so that we can kind of like do a little sit rep like I did with Danmachi. I did finish Danmachi. So I'm all caught up, ready for this fall season of anime with Danmachi season 5 coming out.
Danmachi. Of all the things to finish, that was the one that you needed to finish.
Yeah, and I'll go back and finish the rest of them.
Coming out in the next follow-up, in the next season. So there's this season, it's coming out next season, season 5. Not
boy.
Season 4 part 2, but season 5.
Oh my god. But yeah, those are some of our favorite broments in anime. If you guys got a cool brother moment in anime that you would like to discuss, you could put it down in the comments as well. Or If you guys have any, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, if you just want to relive those great moments that we just talked about as well, let us know and let's all share in it. Again, I love anime. Vince loves anime. We love talking about this shit. That's why we made a whole ass podcast about it and made this whole background and put ourselves in the fucking oval zone because we want to just talk about this with you guys. You know, and so that we could talk about this with you guys. We got the homies here live who are hanging out with us during the recording of the podcast, and we want to hear from you guys who are watching on the VOD. But this is where we're going to wrap up the 16th episode of the DNAnime Podcast. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us all day today, through all the trials and tribulations, through the storm that was approaching that knocked out internet. I want to just say thank you guys for hanging out with us as we continue on this podcast journey. It's been a blast, dude, and I can't wait to keep recording them more. So if you guys want to join the conversation or you want to proffer up some topics for the next episodes or future episodes of the podcast, you can let us know in the comments as well. If you guys want to also help the boys out, share the podcast with your friends, post it on your social media, hit that like button, subscribe, keep up with us. Because again, we're having a blast over here, and I hope you guys are enjoying listening to it. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you for being here. We will see you guys next week for the 17th episode of the DNAnime Podcast. And Vix, do you have any final words for the people?
Just pretty much everything that you said. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. I am enjoying my time going through this podcast with your boy Crow. Thank you so much for everybody jumping on in. Thank you, Crow, for being here with me. This is definitely one of the more rewarding events or actions that I get to do is this podcast. I enjoy editing it and posting it on YouTube, even though I do keep messing up a little bit. I'm gonna get it one of these times. Appreciate everybody. If you guys have anything, if you guys got words that you want to say, leave your words down below or on your review sections on the audio podcast. We will see everybody for the 17th episode next week. Peace out.
Bye.